Hi there, it's April the 30th and my M-Tron, Blacktron and Ice Planet minifigures are waiting to meet their modern counterparts because in this box is a complete set of Series 26 Space Collectable Minifigures. Now, I wasn't expecting my complete set of Series 26 minifigures to even be shipped to me until at least the 1st of May, but it's day before launch day and they've just arrived in the post. As we know, this is Series 26 and that means that I've got 26 complete sets of collectible minifigures, but I have to say that this is definitely my most anticipated series. And of course I've got my classic M-Tron, Blacktron and Ice Planet minifigure because all those three minifigs have modern tribute figures in this series. So without any more delay, let's open it up and check what's inside. Now, the seller who I got this set from said that each packet would be carefully opened, the contents would be checked, and then they would be resealed in a Ziploc bag before posting to me. However, he's obviously made really good use of the new QR codes that you get on the bottom of these minifigures and check the contents. He's labelled each one up. He's still put it in a Ziploc bag, so I know, hopefully, that I've got everyone in the series. So we're going to open each one up and take a good look at it. If you watch a lot of my videos, you may know that I have actually already got the nurse android with the pink space baby, which arrived a few days ago, and I made a video of that, increasing my Every Space Baby is Awesome display. And to get that one so early, I did pay slightly over the odds for it than I would normally do, but this complete series only cost me £4.50 than the face value of all the minifigures put together. And I thought £4.50 wasn't much to pay, and that includes the postage for someone else to have the hassle of buying a whole set, dividing them out into a complete set for me, and then posting them to me. And the fact that they've arrived a day before launch day is a real bonus. So I thought I'd open them up in the order that LEGO display them on this leaflet, starting with the spacewalking astronaut. Now, for a collectible minifigure, this one has actually got an awful lot of parts in it, and it's also one of the three minifigures which has instructions on the back of the leaflet. Now, this first minifigure will obviously appeal to modern space fans, but looking closely on his torso, he also has a LEGO Classic Space logo on him. He's got nice detailed printing on the front and sides of his legs, and also great printing on his arms, with another Classic Space logo on his right shoulder. The gold visor doesn't open, you have to pop it off or pop the helmet off to see their face, and LEGO have done this really nicely with a white balaclavaed head with the face in the middle. The two control panels are printed on these cheese wedge slopes which angle backwards and forwards so you can place them under the minifig's hands. But the best part of all for classic space fans like me is this huge 2x3 printed tile on the back of the backpack. The other thing with this series is that instead of the normal black minifig stand, we get one with printed stars on it. So there's our first figure, the spacewalking astronaut. Now, when pictures of this series first came out, this minifigure reminded me of a character in the Men in Black film who had tiny aliens inside his head controlling him. And he's got a normal minifig's face on this side, and on the other you can see there's the space alien inside him controlling him as he moves along. His front torso printing is very standard. However, on the back you can see a little hatch where the aliens enter his body. He comes with 3 nano figures in green dressed up as aliens, 2 to go with him and 1 spare, which I'm really pleased about because I have a whole collection of nano figures, so one of these can go with them. He also has an antenna coming out of his head, obviously so the aliens can communicate with each other. So there we have number 2, the imposter figure, and I'm going to keep him on his classic minifig face, hopefully so he can blend in and people won't notice he's been controlled by aliens. Now, I do love how LEGO seem to go all out on the printing on their collectible minifigures, and this alien tourist is no exception. As you can see from his t-shirt, he obviously loves the planet Earth, and he's blending in really well with this Hawaiian shirt. He's got dual moulded short legs and this blue backpack, and he comes complete with this camera so he can take all his holiday photos. Now, I know that some people have suggested that this minifigure is based off the character Paul from the film of the same name. However, in that film, Paul is pretty much naked for the entire film, except for once when he's dressed up like a cowboy. So although I think it's a nice idea, I don't think the two things are related. So now the figure most anticipated by an awful lot of people, and like I said, you can check out the video when I got one of these a few days ago and I made my Every Space Baby is Awesome display. Now, the nurse android does have fairly standard printing on it, nothing particularly special, although I do like the detail of the battery on her back showing how much power she's got left. However, I think the printing on the arms is exceptional. We've got transparent blue arms here, and on this side you can see we've got a temperature gauge, so checking the baby's hasn't got a temperature. And on the other side she's got a heart monitor. She obviously comes with a bottle so she can feed the baby some milk. And after a few comments in my last video, I wanted to show that the Space Baby is actually only in two parts. You get the body here, obviously with the classic Space logo printed on the torso, and the head and helmet and air tanks is actually one dual molded piece. So this isn't a head inside another pink piece. It's actually molded like this when it's made, so the yellow and the pink are completely joined together. You can't get that head out at all. So that's our fourth figure, the android nurse with the pink Space Baby. And so to our first tribute figure, the M-Tron Powerlifter. Now he's got dual molded legs in red and white, with some really great printing on the sides with a small silver detail. The visor for his helmet is actually printed on his face. You can see that he's got a kind of heads-up display on his face. And his backpack's got this 1x2 printed plate on the bottom of it with yellow stripes actually printed on the edge of the plate. And then the piece that he uses for lifting is a completely new bespoke part. You've got this flexible black hose to the sort of red claw at the end of it. The claw or grabber has got a stud with a hole in it. And in turn we've got this 1x2 brick with a tile on the top, and that can now sit in the hole in the middle, and it looks like he's picking it up. Comparing the torsos with his original counterpart, you can see his was plain red with just the M-Tron logo in the middle, whereas the new one's got this slight newer detailing on the bottom corners and around the neck. He also has a few details on the back of his torso, but once you put his backpack on, none of that can be seen. So as a tribute to a well-loved classic space theme, I think this is a really good figure. Now the observant among you will probably have noticed that I've got this figure and the android nurse the other way round. So this is actually number 4 and the android nurse was number 6. But this figure is called the retro space heroine. She's got a skirt piece which goes in between her legs and her torso. Again, she's got printed lines around her legs, and you can see from the back that they are actually dual molded as well. There's really nice gold printing on her torso, her legs, the sides of her arms, and also the back. I really like the way they've made the helmet, so it looks like her ponytail's coming out the back of it. She's also got a dual printed face, so she's got a determined look on this side and a more quizzical look on the other. And if we get in really close, you can see some ever so tiny silver spots around the sides of her eyes. Now she comes with a pink-eyed bulldog, and I haven't actually come across a good reason why she's coming with a bulldog. In my first video about this series, several people gave me several different ideas, but none of them seemed completely convincing. So if you've got an idea why she comes with a bulldog, let me know in the comments below. And so as we're halfway through, while you're down there leaving me your comments, if you've liked this video, why don't you also give it a thumbs up and maybe hit subscribe and click the bell icon to be notified of more LEGO videos. But on to the second half of the series. Now this figure I was really looking forward to because of the incredibly cool printing on his torso and his legs, and you can see the stars, and there's a shooting star going across his torso there, and then the stars going down onto his legs, and it matches really well with the base plate that it's standing on. What I hadn't seen in pre-release figures was the back of his torso, and there we've got the planet Earth with the moon revolving around it. This new moulded flying saucer piece has a rectangle cut out so it sits on his shoulders nicely, and obviously with a hole in the middle to go over his neck, and then just a happy smiley green face, and a normal 2x2 dome piece to sit over the top. So outside the classic space nostalgia figures, I think this is one of my favourites. Now before I finish making this figure and put the shoulder pads on and completely cover up her torso printing, we should compare it with the original Ice Planet figure. And as you can see, the colour scheme is exactly the same: black legs, blue hips, black torso, white arms and blue hands. The torso printing isn't identical on the front, but it's very in keeping with the style, with the same silver, white and blue accents and that Ice Planet logo. Once her shoulder armour's on, that Ice Planet logo is completely covered up, but to make up for it, we've got one printed on her shoulder. You can take her hair off and add this great dual moulded Ice Planet helmet, and she comes with 2 accessories, her ice chainsaw and a robot penguin. The robot penguin is the standard LEGO penguin mould. It's got Ice Planet printing on his chest and an orange visor across his eyes. Now of course the transparent neon orange that we used to have in Ice Planet is no longer a current LEGO colour, but they've done really well at using just the regular standard transparent orange, and they've used the same chainsaw piece and just made a new holder for it. There's 2 open studs on the back of her shoulder armour, which means she can carry her ice chainsaw on her back. Now this figure's also got some really nice features. It's got printing on the front of his torso, fairly normal. It's got side details on his arms, and what looks like a cassette tape printed on his back. He's got a wonderfully blank, soulless expression on his face, but the highlight is definitely these legs with rollers on the bottom so he can wheel around your house while he's making meals. And as such, he comes with a saucepan with a white ice cream piece in it and an egg whisk. Now, based on the original picture, I thought this might be a tribute to the Insectoids theme, or one of the other lesser-known space themes. But I can't find anything that looks vaguely similar to this, so I guess he's just a new character. He has this absolutely huge moulded headpiece with 4 eyes printed on it, and you can see that's very elongated, almost like the xenomorph from Alien. They've reused the ladybird wing piece on him, but of course with a more space-themed print. And then he's got some kind of pink and purple alien plant, which he's feasting on. Also, he doesn't have regular minifig legs. He has the moulded legs, which they use for fawns and other fantasy creatures. Now, I love it when we get new transparent minifig pieces, and in this figure we have got a whole host of them. So starting at the bottom, he's got transparent sparkle purple legs. His hips and torso are in metallic silver, but we've got more transparent glitter purple for his arms and his head. His hair is transparent purple but without the glitter, and his face printing is so subtle you can only really see it when you catch it in the light. Now, because Orion is a hunter, he's got a transparent purple club, and he's got the Orion constellation printed on his shield with silver edging. And outside the classic theme tributes, along with the flying saucer costume, I think this guy's one of my favourites. So after years of being out of the LEGO catalogue, the Blacktron 2 minifigures have all become mutants. The left half of the minifigure looks completely human, whereas it's all gone terribly wrong with his right half. There's wonderful subtle printing on the right half of his face. LEGO are using their double arm piece they've used a few times before in green on his right side. And like the Beetlezoid, using that fawn leg with scales printed at the top and some claws at the bottom. He comes with 2 blasters for his double arm, some breathing apparatus around his mouth, and a mohawk hairpiece. And although he's quite scary looking, my original Blacktron 2 minifigure looks pretty happy to see him. The Blacktron logo has been slightly updated, it's been reduced in size and given a silver outline. Now, I made a video about this series 4 months ago, the week before Christmas, when the first image of the minifigures was found online. And like I said, out of the 26 series, I think this is my most anticipated one. I love the tributes to the classic space themes of M-Tron, Blacktron and Ice Planet. I of course love the android nurse because we've got that pink space baby to expand my every space baby is awesome display. And outside the classic themes, the print on the flying saucer costume guy is absolutely amazing, and it's great to get all those transparent pieces on Orion. Let me know your favourites in the comments below, and let me know which ones you'll be buying. Will you be getting the whole series? Will you be army building some of the classic themes? And if you've liked this video, please do give it a thumbs up, it really helps me out, and of course please subscribe for more LEGO videos.